Good morning and welcome to you. I'm not sure how this lighting is going to work today. The sun is extremely bright this morning. You know how it goes. Me and lighting and working in natural daylight, it's a complete mess. Good morning and welcome. My name is Sussex Sandra, and for those of you who have never visited my channel before, hello and welcome. Now, if you haven't visited my channel before, you won't know what all this means. When I come to you with a very bare face, you know that it's going to be a foundation day. So today I am reviewing a foundation that was released about 2-3 weeks ago. Usually when a big brand releases foundation, sometimes we're lucky that some of the high-end stores in the UK will have the foundation as well. Most of the time we do have to wait a few months before we get the range and then the full shade range of colours available. So this time the foundation I am reviewing is from Cover FX, and it's the Cover FX Play. Now in the UK the only place it's available is Selfridges. There are a few Selfridges stores around the country, mainly in big cities like London and Birmingham. The main original one is on Oxford Street, obviously in London, but you can buy the product online. So that is what I had to do as per usual, and obviously I had to try and find my shade. I've never bought a Cover FX foundation before, and they do say with Cover FX, once you've found your shade, you will be the same shade right through the whole range of products. So with Cover FX, I had to find my shade. You go onto their website and they refer you to Facebook Messenger, which I thought was a bit weird. Then they go through a series of questions and they ask you, do you look like this person? So they show a series of photographs and you can pick the one that's closest to your shade, going through these various questions, and eventually you'll arrive at your shade. So there was two shades I could have been. I could have been G100 and N100. So G100 stands for golden yellow olive undertones and N100 was for neutral. So I went for the neutral and hope for the best. So this is the product, comes in a box like this. It's not cheap, it's another expensive foundation. I think it's one of the more expensive ones I've tried recently. Actually, I think it is the most expensive one I've tried recently. Most of the ones I've been trying out have either been drugstore, so sort of like below £15, or they've been in the £30 to £35 range. This one is £38 plus the shipping, because obviously you've got to pay postage and packaging. It came up to £43, so it's actually an expensive product. So I hear such good things about this range, so I really wanted to try it and just see how I get along with it, really. So here it is. This is it. It's £38. It comes in a, this is another thing which I'm not sure about. It comes, instead of a pump, it's a squeezy tube, which I sort of think, you know, at bloody 38 quid, you want it to be a lot better than that. You expect a pump because you've got more control. I can't imagine how difficult this product's going to be when I get towards the end. I mean, but then I'm the kind of person, because I ain't wasting my money, I will get my big scissors and I will cut into this product to scrape out the last bit of this product. Now, I wanted to try do my review slightly different. I'm going to be doing a wear test just for you today, but I have been wearing the product the last 2 days, just testing out with different primers, different application techniques, and seeing how I get along. So I've already formed a view of what I think about this foundation. So today I am going to apply the foundation. I'm going to be using my techniques that usually work for me. I'm going to do half my face with a beauty blender and half my face with a sponge. For those of you who don't know, I have got very oily skin, and they do say this product is for people who have got a combination to oily skin. In fact, you know what? Let me just read briefly what they say about this product. So I'm on the Selfridges website here. So it says Cover FX Power Play Foundation. How to apply. For brush application, place a small amount of product on the flat top of a foundation brush, so a kabuki style brush, and apply to the face until well blended. Set with a loose powder for optimum wear. Can also be applied with the fingertips or a makeup sponge. Find your shade. Light is 0 to 20, mediums are 25 to 40, medium deep is 50 to 85, and deep is 90 to 125. There are 40 shades in the range, so yeah, you're not going to have any issues with finding your shade, completely from the very lightest to the very deepest, and they've got all the different undertones as well. So You will not, doesn't matter what your skin shade is, you won't have any problems in finding a good match. Yellow, golden, pink, silver, grey, orange, yellow, blue, whatever, you'll find your shade. They also say the product is vegan, cruelty-free and free of talc, oil, fragrance, parabens and gluten, and it's 35ml, so it's a little bit more than your standard 30ml 1 fluid ounce. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and do this. One half of my face with a sponge, one half of my face with a beauty blender. I'll tell you what I've put on today. So I have put on a moisturiser because I've been really getting along with this moisturiser that came in the Look Fantastic March box. It's from Revicha. I actually really like this product, but it's not a product I can normally afford to buy, so I'm just enjoying this product whilst I can, but the chances of me buying it again, very slim. It's just a little bit too expensive for me to pay for a moisturiser. I've put this green tea primer, which I got in a pink parcel box of, I think it was February's one. This is proven to be a really good primer. It's from Evelyn, Iona, and yeah, it's just been a really good primer for me. So I'm using that as my all over face primer. And for those of you who know me, you know that I double prime. So my second primer, which I put on, is my Becca Matte poreless primer, and I put that in my usual areas of my really oily areas, which is my upper cheeks, nose and T-zone. So I'm going to do that quickly now. I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on just to give my face an even face. I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Defining Concealer in C15, and this is the concealer I use just to cover up my blemishes. That's that done. Then I always set my face with a layer of powder. Any translucent powder will do. I only do this because I have got very oily skin. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube who say they've got oily skin. What they normally mean is combination skin. So they've got a little bit of oil that comes in their T-zone. Whereas I have got proper oily skin, so that's all over my face. And that's usually sort of sebum being produced within a couple of hours. So I do need to set my face with some powder. So I am going to be using this. This is something I haven't shown you guys before actually. This is a product I think I read a blog and I found out about it. It's by Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder. And it actually is really good at just holding back the oils. I don't use it as a final setting powder because it is a little bit too white and it does leave a cast on my face. So I use it as my setting powder now, and my setting powder of my primer. And yeah, I think it really has made a difference. It's really cheap as well. I think it was about £4 or something like that, £4 or £5. It's not expensive. I will leave the link to the where I got the product from in the description box below, so in case you are interested in buying it. Let's do this. Foundation time. What have I done with it? Here we go. So I'm going to do half of my face first with the beauty blender, and then the other half with a flat kabuki brush. That's what the product looks like. Okay. I've actually put too much on my face there, so I'm actually going to spread this all over my face. So I'm hoping you can see this clearly. Let me bring you in a bit closer. Right, so this is the sponge size. So what you probably would have noticed that the colour is fine, but it's not a fully medium coverage. I would say it's light to medium. And what this product reminds me of, since I've been wearing it the last couple of days, it reminds me of the recent product I purchased from Bobbi Brown. So the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. It feels very much like that. It's very light, a very light and comfortable foundation. And I think the coverage it's similar, but I'd say this gives a better coverage than the Bobbi Brown one. So it's very close between the two. So it really depends on what you think. So I think the Bobbi Brown one was something like £31, was it? Or £35, whereas this is £38. So I'm just going to apply the second side now with a brush, and then you can see what the difference is. So we need a kabuki style brush. Let me use my Tarte one. Just remembered I've already got some on my face already. Oh dear. Right, so let's use this and apply some of this out. So I know it looks rather red when I initially do it, but it does blend out nicely. So that's the coverage with the brush, and I do prefer it with the brush. So I'm just going to finish up and just match up my whole face actually, because I'm looking at this side with the Beauty Blender and it's just a little bit patchy. I don't know if it's because the Beauty Blender I used initially, which is this black one, it needs to be thrown now. I've been using it way too much and it's all cracked and stuff, so I'm pretty certain, look at the state of that. Yeah, that's the reason why it looks so shaped on this side of my face. So I'm literally only going to work today, so it's just going to be light makeup look. And I'll be wearing the product for about, see, I mean, I've only been using this product for 3 days now, and I'm already having difficulty in squeezing the product out. I think they need to think about the design of that, because that ain't my favourite. So I'm just going to put some more on all over my face. I'm going to do my usual wear test, so I'll be wearing the foundation for a good 6-7 hours, I would say. And then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. My challenge today is to try and keep this video to 20 minutes if I can, because my videos are just way too long. Even I think they're too long, and I'm the one who's making them. Alright, I'm happy with that. That coming closer so you can see properly how this looks. Okay, so that's the coverage. So it's a good medium coverage. I wouldn't say full, I'd say it's a solid medium coverage. Very light, very weightless, very comfortable. Medium coverage, gives a natural matte finish. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So let me tell you the time. Just after 9 o'clock, so let's call it, it's coming up to 9:10. So hopefully I'll come back to you about, what, 4:30, 5 o'clock this evening. So you should get a good 7-hour wear out of me today. So I'm just going to finish the rest of my face and I'll come back to you in a second. Hi, good evening. I am back. So I'm here to give my final thoughts of the foundation I have been testing out for the last 3 days. Today is the day that I filmed wearing the foundation, so I can just give you an idea of how this foundation performs. So the foundation we were testing today is, hold on 1 minute, is the Cover FX Play Foundation. I was wearing it in shade N100. Okay, so this product costs £38 in the UK and $44 in America. Now, so the foundation promises, let's have a quick look. So the foundation promises, it says that it's available in 40 diverse shades. This liquid foundation, it has buildable medium to full coverage with a moderate matte finish, loaded with a trio of ultra-fine powders that control shine and visibly blur imperfections. It stays on skin all day without dulling or drying complexion. And they say why they love it is the Power Play foundation is sweat proof, waterproof, transfer proof and provides all day wear. It is vegan, cruelty free and free of talc, oil, fragrance, parabens and gluten. So I'd like to see how what happened to me compares to what they promise. Alright, so let's go through this. So for those of you who've never visited my channel before, when I do foundation reviews I use a system called TOPS. This little system I created, and the TOPS stands for, T stands for transfer, does the foundation transfer, and that's one of the things that they claim that it does protect against. It also stands for oil control, so does the foundation hold back more oil? That's another claim that they've made. I look at the performance. I look at how the foundation applied, how it blended, how it performs. Does it fade, melt, separate, all of that kind of thing. So that's the performance. I look at the price. What's the price of the product compared to the other things that it's marketed against. So in this case, it's going to be marketed against other high-end foundations. And I mentioned earlier, I'm going to compare it to products like the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Finish foundation, whatever it's called, and I'm also going to compare it to the NARS foundation that was released recently. So that was called Weightless something Longwear foundation as well. They've all got very similar titles. But the final thing in my top system is the shades. What's the shade range like? Is it good? Does it cover a lot of people? So let's go through this. So I know I'm wearing my glasses, and you can probably see that I am a little bit oily. I've literally just finished cooking in the kitchen, so I was just making a chicken curry. It's Wednesday, it's curry night in our household. So just done that. So a lot of heat and steam generated. But transfer, what I normally do when I look at my transfer and my oil, I use my, oops daisy, I use my trusted blotting sheets. So let me just get those. So these are the blotting sheets I get. I got these from Amazon. They're about £5, £6. Really good. They do last a long time because I do use these nearly every day just to blot my face. I didn't blot my face at all today, and I should tell you, I've been wearing the foundation for about 8 hours. Let me show you the time. So let's have a quick look. Get the clock app up. So you can see, it's just after, oops, can you see that? It's just after 5 o'clock, so it's 5:05. And I applied the foundation, I think it was about 10 to 9, 5 to 9. So it's a good 8 hours I've been wearing the foundation for. And that's about the average amount of time I like to wear foundation for. That's sort of a typical working day. Alright, so when I use the blotting sheets, what I look to see how much oil has actually come through on the sheets, and a good foundation will probably give me sort of 2 to 3 sheets of oil. And I also look to see if any foundation transfers. What tends to happen is as the oil starts to produce on my skin, that's when the foundation starts to transfer and slip. I haven't noticed any brown on any of my paperwork today because I have been writing some reports, and I haven't noticed any transfer at all. So shall we see? Take these off. Right, sheet 1. So that's just the initial blot on my forehead, so you can see oil and just a little bit of foundation there. So let's do the rest of this side. Okay, so there we go. So you got oil and you're starting to see some foundation transfer down there. Okay, foundation or blush? I think that's more foundation because it's more of a brown colour. Right, let's do sheet 2. Okay, so initial blot, so again some oil and a little bit of foundation again. Okay, so there you can see oil and foundation, you can see there. Let's put this down. There you go, oil and foundation right there. Right, put my glasses on because I can't see a damn thing without them. Right, okay. Okay, so I think my face looks okay now. Yeah, it looks alright. So, yeah, seen that. So, when I rate the products, I rate them out of 10. So, for transfer, yes, there was some transfer, and that's literally because the oil started to produce on my face. So, I think for transfer, because there is some, it's not a hell of a lot, but there is some transfer, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for transfer. So, for oil, I literally, I've got some pictures up here, which I'm just going to show you now. So in the pictures you can see that it was 2 hours after first wear and 5 hours after wear. So if I can show you those, I took those earlier today. So there you go. So you got 2 hours there, and you can see that I got a little bit of a healthy dewy complexion, and then you've got 5 hours, and you can see the oil starting to come through. So 2 hours it was still very much matte. It's still a very natural finish, and 5 hours you can see the oils were starting to come through, and that was it. So literally 5 hours, that was when the oil started to come through. So to me that is actually really good. So, and it has felt really comfortable all day. I haven't felt the need to blot at all. I just thought the oil that I was getting on my face was, no, it was acceptable. I wasn't going into any important meetings or anything. I wasn't meeting anyone important where I needed to look decent. So I was actually quite fine of how I looked today. and I didn't feel the need to blot. So I would say for oil control, considering I'm actually quite pleased with this product, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 because there was some oil production there. But again, it just felt really, really good. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 for oil. So for performance, now I applied the foundation with a blender one half on my face and with a brush on the other, and that's what they say you can do. It blended out easily, no issues at all in blending it out. Didn't need to put on a whole load of product just to get a decent coverage. I got what I'd call a solid medium coverage, so I was more than happy with the coverage that I got. That was what was comfortable for me, because I don't really like full on cakey coverage, you know, Nikki tutorial style. I just like a little bit more. I just want coverage to cover up all my blemishes and stuff. I did put on concealer before and colour correction beforehand, but still I was getting decent coverage. Earlier in the week when I used the foundation, so on Monday, I didn't use any concealer at all or any colour correction, and I was still getting decent coverage. I was getting a little bit of fading along the outer perimeter of my face, and that is actually quite normal for me. I do get a little bit of fading because I do tend to rest my hands on my face, especially when I'm writing and I'm concentrating and so forth. I'm a very handsy kind of person, so I do a lot of touching of my face. So for me, performance wise, it hasn't faded, it hasn't melted. Well, I'll say it hasn't faded, it's a little bit of fading up there, but it's not much after 8 hours, and it still looks pretty decent. So I think, again, for performance, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 because this is more than acceptable for me. Right, price, it is £38, so it's definitely a high-end foundation. It's more expensive than the Bobbi Brown, it's more expensive than the NARS foundation, which I'm actually quite surprised at because I thought the NARS one was darn expensive. But at the same time, I've got what I wanted out of this. I'm really happy because what I was doing before I started wearing this foundation this week, I actually really liked the Bobbi Brown Skin foundation. So what I've been doing, I've been combining the Bobbi Brown Skin with the LA Colours foundation. If you remember, I did a review of that, so I'll put the link up there for you. The LA Colours foundation gives a little bit more coverage alongside with the skin, and the two of those together actually worked quite well. But now that I've got this, I don't need to do that. So I'm actually saying at the moment it's kind of my favourite foundation so far, which I've tried out this year. So at the moment, yeah, this is up there for me, and I have tried quite a few foundations this year already, so this is definitely one of those. So £38, it's expensive. I wish it was cheaper. I'd be happy to pay under £30, but then I always say that. But if I'm comparing it with the other products that are out there, so if I'm comparing it with the Bobbi Brown and the NARS, I say it's better than both of those. So I'm going to give it a better score price-wise for that. Still too expensive for me, comfort-wise, but I think if you have a product like that, and you're happy with it, it's going to be your go-to and it's going to last you a while. So I think for price, considering what it does, how it performs, it does what they say it does. I am going to give this out of 10. I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I think it is, in comparison to the other foundations that are out there, I think it's good. Finally, the shade selection. So for shade selection, you have got 40 shades in the range. Let me bring up the picture for you from their site. Right, there you go. See if I can enlarge it for you. So you've got 40 shades there in the range. That's pretty good for a launch, don't you think? So again, with Fenty, everybody raved about Fenty because she came out with 40 shades in the initial launch. And again, with this Cover FX, they've always done a very good shade range. And I don't think people give them enough props for the shade range they have because they really considered the undertones as well. I mean, I have to admit, with the Fenty, I have to combine 2 shades to get a perfect match. So with the Fenty, I wear the 450 mixed in with the 420. With this is fine. This shade has been perfectly fine. More than happy with it. It blends in okay. It fits in with my neck and my chest because my face is darker than my chest. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that. So for shades, that's a 10 out of 10. Right, so let me know what you think. Do you agree with my assessment of this foundation? I've actually really enjoyed wearing this foundation for the last 3 days, and I'm going to continue to wear it until I try out my next foundation because it's become my new favourite, as Bruce Forsyth used to say. So yeah, I've really enjoyed wearing it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my assessment? If you've enjoyed this video and how I've done this, please give me a like. And if you want to follow all the other foundation reviews and unboxings that I do, don't forget to subscribe. And if you press the little bell next to the subscribe button, that will notify you when I do my next upload. All right, I hope you enjoy that, and I hope to see you soon. So thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.